What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Pat Neely's Kitchen. When I tell you I'm cooking it up today, I got a special recipe for you guys. You're gonna absolutely love it. I'm making an apple bacon bourbon stuffed pork chop, y'all. We're gonna stuff that baby. So first thing we wanna do, I said bacon. I've chopped up some bacon into chunks, and I'm just gonna brown my bacon in my skillet. I love to cook with bacon. To me, it's some of the best oil. Instead of using olive oil or vegetable oil, I like to render the fat off from the bacon because that's much better oil and has so much more flavor to it. So what we're gonna do is, to start off with, I said apple. So I got a Granny Smith apple that I'm gonna cut. And what I'm making, y'all, is my stuffing. So I'm gonna take my Granny Smith apple and just dice it. I've been experimenting like crazy with the kids on new recipes. And this recipe is actually not so new. I think I may have cooked it once for the family, but it's a recipe from one of my cookbooks. I think it was Back Home with the Niggers. One of my last, I think it was my last book. So then I'm gonna dice the onion. I got a half of yellow onion. We're just gonna take our onions and our apples, just like that. Right into our pot. Y'all know me, always got a little seasoning, so I got a little salt and a little pepper. Going right in on my vegetables, then we're gonna toss it around. The one flavor that I'm adding is I've got about a tablespoon of sage, ground sage. If you can find fresh sage, then that's even better. I was out shopping, I couldn't find sage nowhere, and I even went to a farmer's market because it's one of those seasoned type of herbs. But I had some ground sage in there, so this will work just fine. So one of the things I always do when I'm cooking, and I've got vegetables and I got raw meat, is I always have two cutting boards. Everyone in my house knows that red means meat. So this red cutting board is strictly for meat. I don't chop anything on, even though I clean and sanitize them when I'm done. I strictly use this as I used to do in my restaurants. This becomes my meat board, and all the other colors are for vegetables and fruit and things of that nature. So when I go in my cupboard and I'm pulling out a board, I don't have to be confused by which board do I use. So I got a little bourbon here. Smells good. Now listen, if you're cooking over a gas stove or even electric stove, always pour your bourbon. I got about 2 tablespoons in here. Right in there with your vegetables. Oh, that smell is amazing. It's amazing. And I'm a Tennessee boy. I love me some bourbon. So that was one ingredient I didn't have to shop for, y'all. I already had some in my bar. So we're gonna just let that cook. What we want to happen is we want, the smell is amazing. We want that bourbon to cook all the way down. We want your pot to be absolutely dry when you're done. So I've got 1.5 inch thick pork chops. Now typically you're not gonna be able to find these in your grocery store, but when I was in the other day, a butcher came out and I said, I need some 1.5 inch thick pork chops. He said, I'll be right back. So most of the time you can go to your local grocery stores, or if you have a butcher, they can cut them. And the reason why I got 1.5 thick pork chops is because we gotta stuff these babies, y'all. So it looks like I can turn this off. It's all dry. And what you want to do, I got a paring knife, but you can use a steak knife or something like that. And you just want to go right in the center of your chop and just kind of cut, like so. Cut you a nice pocket. And take that knife all the way on down. Just like that. And what you're doing, and go as far as you can go. You'll feel it when you hit that bone. You've created a pocket. Now I'm going to come just a little wider out here. Just like this. As you can see, I've created a nice pocket. You want to make sure you really cut so you get as much in as possible. I'm going to take my plate and I'm going to move my stuffing over onto my plate. And I should have did this first because you would prefer for this to completely cool. So if I had put it on this plate earlier and let it start cooling, then it would already be cool. I want to get it as cool as I possibly can because you really don't want to take this hot stuffing, even though I'm going straight to the grill, and stuff it into cold pork chops. So as cool as this can be, we stuff it into the pork chops so they both are cold, so you get that even cook when we put it on the grill. A nice little bit of our stuffing, and put it right in there and pack it. Just like that. So now we got our pork chops. Last thing we need to do is we need to season them. Now, I'm a heavy seasoner, I always have been. You know, you can go with a little pepper. Then I'm gonna use just a little bit of salt because I have something else I'm gonna add to it, but if this was it, you can heavily come with your salt. But I have my own season all, so to speak. So I'll just sprinkle a little of that on it just to add a little bit more. So now, y'all stay with me. I'm headed to the grill. I'll see you out on the grill and we're gonna grill these puppies and it's gonna be some good eating, y'all. Let me tell you what, because we got our bacon in here, we've got our Granny Smith sweet apples in here, our onions in here, and these delicious 1.5 inch thick pork chops on this grill. Honey, y'all better look out. See you in a bit. All right, y'all, like I told you, I'm out here at the grill. I got my stuffed pork chops. I got my grill at a medium to high heat. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna gingerly put these chops directly over the flame. Good thing about a good old gas grill, you can always adjust your heat. We're gonna have to continuously flip them so that they don't get too dark. So you wanna stay here and man them for about 15 to 17 minutes. And make sure when we're done and you get ready to start eating that you remove the toothpicks that I put in there. So as you can see, the stuffing is sitting in there beautifully. There's no, it's not coming out because I put the toothpicks in there earlier. All that delicious flavor, y'all, is just cooking in. From the sweetness of the apple to the onions to the bacon, and of course the seasoning that I added to it. These are gonna be some good eating. And you know, I may go in and throw together like some brown rice and maybe a salad or something like that. and I got a delicious meal. I'm gonna close them down for about 10 minutes. And the reason why I wanna close my grill, although I'm not gonna go too far, I'm gonna stay here and monitor it with my temperature. But the reason why I wanna close it is pork has a tendency to dry out when a lot of oxygen hits it. So closing the lid will keep them moist and tender while they cook. I'll continuously flip them, and in about 10 minutes, y'all, I'm back. We're gonna pull these babies off. We're gonna go upstairs, take a cut, and see what a masterpiece I have created. All right, y'all, I'm back in the kitchen. Grill these chops for about 17 to 20 minutes. And one of the things I always like to do with pork chops and any cuts of meat this size is let them rest. So they've been sitting up here for the last 5 or 10 minutes just resting. And the reason why you want them to rest is because it allows all the juices to redistribute throughout the meat. So we're just gonna cut right into it. And if you guys noticed, all my stuffing stayed in beautifully. So I'm just gonna try to cut so you can get a good view. And look, it's just right in there. I mean, it's just right in there. The char filling or the char flavor, along with the bacon and the apples, is simply delicious. You got to take these things to the grill. They cooked great. You know, I made sure that I took my time. I constantly was flipping them so that I didn't get them too scorched. And I took my time because, as you can see, even this thick 1.5 inch pork chop is completely done. My beautiful wife and the kids are gonna be like, where mine? She already laughing. She said, where's hers? So until next time, thank you guys so much for all your support. Keep following me. Keep telling your friends to subscribe to my YouTube page, Pat Neely BBQ King. It's also my social handle on all my sites for more of these great, delicious recipes, because y'all keep subscribing and I'm gonna keep cooking.